Hey, what's up YouTube? It's me, Jack, and I'm back again today with another Back to Basics episode. And today we're looking at biceps. Woo! Okay, so before we begin, yes, I'm in a new room. I am still messing around finding out which room is my favourite to film in, and we have a new hat on, so sweet. Okay, so give you the normal spiel. So back to basics. Again, these episodes are for people who are new to the gym, or for slight intermediates, or people that just want to relearn the exercise, relearn the how to do it, and also where they can fit it into the training and easier or harder versions of the exercise. So with that said, I hope you guys are well, and as usual, if you have any versions or any different type of tips or tricks you want to leave for people in the comments below with the exercise we're doing today, which is biceps, then please absolutely do. I love your input, and it always helps me and hopefully other people too if they watch this. So how do we perform biceps? Well, bicep curls. No, how do we perform biceps? That'd be weird. Bicep curls is quite an easy one. So effectively what you want is you want to be pushing your chest out if you're doing it standing. You want to have your chest out, shoulders back, and then it depends on what you're using. Are you using a bar or are you using dumbbells? If you're using a bar, your arms are obviously going to be stopped by the bar. They won't come back all the way, but they should come back to the majority of the way. And then what you're going to do is obviously bring your arms all the way up. Your hands should finish kind of in front of your shoulders. Hold it there for 2, 3, 4 seconds, depending on what you want to do. Obviously, the longer you hold it, the longer you hold the contraction, the harder it is. And then you'll lower it back down. If you're using dumbbells, your arms will be able to come slightly past where your body is, and you should be flexing your tricep at the bottom to make sure that your biceps are as extended as possible, and then curl all the way up, and you'll get a little bit more range of motion out of your biceps, and therefore break them down a bit better. But it's completely up to you which one you want to do, which variation you want to do. So now with that said, I'd like to go into the differences between slightly different versions of bicep curls, because I know there's a few. So obviously you've got your classic bicep curl, whereas we just discussed your hands are here and they finish here. Now some people prefer to do a closed grip bicep curl. Now that's completely up to you if you want to do that. In my opinion, it does focus, I think it focuses a little bit more on the outside for me, but for some people, I know they've said it literally feels like it doesn't really do much difference, so it's up to you. And also the other one is a wide bicep curl. Now these ones are good because a wide bicep curl is going to focus on the bronchialis, which is a small muscle which sits underneath the bicep, as your bicep isn't attached to the bone all the way down. And if you can build that up slightly, obviously where it sits under the bicep, it will push the bicep out more, and therefore it will give you the illusion of the bicep being bigger. Again, these can be implemented into your training, or if you wanted to, if you were doing, say, a back and biceps, at the end of your workout, you could mix it up and do some normal and some wide grip. So it's up to you how you want to do it. Now, talking of where you would fit biceps into your training, I would always recommend that you fit biceps into your training, or the bicep part of the training, at the end of your session. The reason being is because, let's say hypothetically you are doing back and biceps. If you do your biceps work first and you burn out your biceps, you then won't be able to pull very much of your back, and your back is a bigger muscle, so it needs more work for it. But same if you're doing a full body day and you start off with training your arms. Again, these are singular muscles. You should do them at the end, because otherwise you're not going to be able to do as much work for the rest of your body. So with that being said, let's go into how we're going to make the biceps easier. Now, there's not really too many ways you can make the biceps easier. It's completely up to you. You've got a couple of options. Obviously, doing them lighter, naturally, using less weight is going to make them easier. And if you use, obviously, smaller barbells, the barbells go all the way down to 10 kg. If you're using smaller dumbbells, they can go all the way down to 2 kg. So you have a little bit more range with dumbbells than you do with barbells. And also, obviously, if the reps are slightly quicker, but don't just smash out loads of reps, that's not what I mean. But if you really struggle to get 2-3 reps, then maybe you're holding them for too long. Maybe you're holding them for 6 seconds. It's not necessarily necessary for when you're first new. So try and aim for slightly higher reps, but still with good form. You want to be holding out at the top for 2-3 seconds. Just don't overdo it. And that's pretty much my advice for making the biceps easier. There's not really too many options you've got, But for the second half, there are a whole lot of options for making it harder. So, I love this bit. I always love it. So, how are we going to make your exercise harder? We're going to make the biceps harder. Bicep curls harder. Jesus, come on. So, in my opinion, the first kind of step up would be a strict curl. A strict curl is where you're going to be against the wall. So what you want is you want your butt, the back of you want your kind of middle to top of your back against the wall, and then you also want your shoulders against the wall and the back of your arms. You can have a little bit of an arch if you want in your back, so you've only got the top of your back and your bum against the wall. It's up to you, it's where you find more comfortable. Just don't overextend and have a massive arch. Then what you're going to do is you're going to curl directly upwards and curl directly back down, depending on what grip you're using. Now this is good because it basically, what it does is it takes away all momentum. So what do I mean by that? Most people when they bicep curl, pretty much everyone, it's not necessarily to the point where you're cheek curling. Everyone's seen that guy in the gym where they're ego lifting and going like whapa and like proper swinging it up. But we all do have a slight kind of, yeah, I guess the best way is a slight swing when we're doing them. Some people's is more exaggerated than others. But this basically takes away any form of momentum that you have to help you, and is a really great exercise if you want to make the bicep curls harder. Now, moving on from the strict curl, the next step up from that, I would say, is going to be the preacher curl. Preacher curl is good. Again, it's going to take out the momentum of you being able to swing it, and not only that as well, because your arms are resting over the cushion in front of you, it then takes out some other muscles which can help slightly as well. So, in my opinion, that's the step up. It is good fun. I enjoy the preacher. So, our next one after the preacher is going to be our spider curl. Now, this one's interesting. It's going to make you basically, you're going to have to sit facing the back of the bench, basically. So you're lying on the bench and let your arms fall out in front of you. And then what you're going to do is you're going to curl from that position. What does this do? Well, because not only are our arms down by our side, they're out in front of us and coming down. This places a greater stretch on the biceps, because we know that the biceps connects up into the shoulder and connects down into the elbow. So if we can make those 2 points as far away from each other as possible, we're then going to get a better stretch on our biceps, which the bigger stretch, the more range of motion there is, the more chance there is to break the bicep down, and then obviously build it back up, break it down and make them bigger. So it's a really great exercise to use. And that's why it's coming to the top of this list as one of the hardest ones for new people to try out and do. So, if you've lasted me for this long, now what I'm going to start doing in these videos is start giving you a thing at the end, which is going to be like my favourite superset for you to do for this group using this exercise. So, what's my favourite bicep superset or triset, or whatever you want to call it, or drop set? Could be one or the other. This one is a mechanical drop set. So the reason it's mechanical is because you don't have to drop the weight for you to make it easier, if that makes sense. So let me just show you. So what you're going to do is you're going to start off in a position on an incline bench. And what this does is similar to the spider curl. It's going to allow your arms to fall back behind you, giving you a greater stretch on the biceps. Now you're going to perform as many bicep curls as you can. You want to kind of pick a weight where you're going to end up between that kind of 8 to 12 to 14 range, depending on what you want to do or how many bicep curls you want to do, whatever, yada, 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 yada. Once you've reached your max, or if you're going for burnout, if you've reached your absolute max and you can't perform anymore, you're then just going to basically move your body into an upright sitting position and then go back to curling more. Well, what does this do? Because our biceps are no longer being really stretched by us sitting back on the incline bench, this then makes the exercise mechanically easier. There you go, that's why it's called a mechanical drop set. Once you've performed as many bicep curls as you can in this position, you're then going to go for one more change, which is going to be to change the biceps. Is to then change the grip you're using to a hammer curl grip, and then do as many hammer curls as you can do. This then makes it easier. Our arms are then in the neutral position, which is easier for our bodies to curl for most people. So you're then going to do as many curls as you can doing hammer curl, and then you're done. In my opinion, you could do one set of this if you wanted to. You could leave it minute and a half, whatever. Do a second set or a third set. I usually do two. I do this at the end of my session, then give it a minute and a half, then do it again, and then I'm done. It's an amazing burnout for your biceps and a very, very hard one to perform, but really good. So that's the biceps. It's a nice, quick, easy one today. If you have anything, as I said earlier, if you have anything that you want to leave in the comments below, any versions of the bicep curl that you guys prefer doing, or any tips you think I left out. And yeah, no, that's basically it. Wow. I don't have a drink with me today, and I still don't have an outro, so I am going to leave it there. I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope to see you in the next episode.